Started off quite some time ago now, just on the very small list of packages, and with the help of the support team we were able to add in and develop some of the functionality that we needed. Motorhome hire needs more of a check-in and check-out process than car and van hire, but they worked very well with us to ensure that we could have the functionality we needed. Yeah. So we just started with the most basic of packages, and then we added in Pro Web, and obviously the great advantage to us was that we could see the bookings coming in for 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and we are finding that people are booking motorhomes, camper vans, cars, vans, sometimes early hours of the morning. Yeah. So it works really well. And then of course we really embrace the companion app for our check-in, check-out process. Yeah. Our damage costs have reduced. We use Prohire not just across rental, but we use it across our loan car fleet. So our service and maintenance department obviously runs a number of loan cars. Typically, I guess pre-Prohire, there was always a tendency where, the customers caused some damage and it just wasn't picked up, or it was picked up and it was ignored by an individual. But obviously since Prohire has been installed and we've started to use every aspect of it, everybody now uses companion. The ladies on service reception, you'll see them out in the car park handing the courtesy cars over, and we just don't have the issues now. If somebody damages something at the point of return, then it's checked back in and it's charged for. If we've got 12, 13 customers, they tend to all come at the same time. So if 5 of them are having a loan car, there was this sort of resistance, if you like, that to run a proper checkout process would be too time consuming. But we had to implement that as just part of our business practice, and we do it now, and there's no noise in the business about it. So to have the digital rental agreements and the check sheets, they were absolutely all paper based, and more so on motorhome hire. When it came to recharges, the piece of paper that you needed that had the customer's signature on as they were leaving your premises to say that there was no damage always disappeared. Really? It ended up being misfiled. Somebody hadn't put it where it needed to be. So for me, who I do the recharges, so it's been great just to have all those digital documents and have them all in one place, as opposed to having paper files. But it's expensive running a fleet of vehicles, and it's more expensive when damage isn't picked up. So it's very, very easy to use. It's very easy to train people, and you've got the help and support as well of the support team at Prohire.
I am the reservations manager for motorhomes. I'm not the rental manager, that's a different role. So I look after the whole fleet of currently about 32 vehicles. And the season starts at the beginning of March and runs roughly through to the end of October. So I use Prohire day in and day out, and it's to be honest with you, it's what I've found, and I've been doing this job for about 15 years, and I've never used anything exactly the same as Prohire, but I've used lots of other different platforms, not just here but in previous roles, and the key thing for me is when I need support, it's there. You either pick up the phone or you just type a little email and it gets through to Reese or Patrick or one of the team, and they're just very helpful, very reactive. And I did have a particular problem recently whereby, and it wasn't actually anything to do with Prohire, it was to do with our systems here and the sensitivity of some of the software that we had on there. They were rubbing up against each other, if you know what I mean. And Patrick just said, right, no problem, get me through to your IT people and we'll sort it. And this was a Saturday morning, and I've got customers, and it's frightening, you know, because you literally, without Prohire, you haven't got anything really, have you? You know, sorted within 5 or 10 minutes, and I was like, breathe again, you know. So yeah, absolutely, can't sing my praises highly enough for the team down there. It's absolutely brilliant. Long may it continue. When I first looked at Prohire, to be honest with you, it was a little bit of a concern, because I think, gosh, it looks quite complex. But when you actually get down to it, it is actually very simple to use, isn't it? You know, it's intuitive. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's intuitive. It's not difficult. And yeah, there are lots of little boxes and things, but obviously as your eye learns where these things are, you build up speed and you build up your confidence. So I have no problem with that at all.
Brilliant.
You
Because
know,
it looks a bit confusing at first.
It does at first, especially for me, because I'm of the generation where we didn't have computers at school. The first time I used a computer was like when I was 35, so it didn't come naturally to me. So whenever I look at something like that, I think, oh, give me a pen and paper, please. But when you actually start using it, it's fine. And now you just would not be without it, you know. And it makes me in front of my customer look really organised and professional. You know, printing off the hire agreements, or rental agreements I should say, you know, and just the fact that I have got all that information to hand, their occupation and all the questions that we can ask and fill it in, and it's just there and you don't lose it, you know. And it's a filing system as well as everything else, isn't it? You know, so absolutely brilliant.
The system allows us to reduce and manage risk, which is really important to us. The advanced reporting functions, so that for me personally is is massive. I think pre-Prohire we just didn't have the ability to report and look at utilisation, and that's been quite an eye-opener. So we used to run, our loan cars used to be older cars, hence why some of the team would take a view and say, oh, it's an old car, it doesn't really matter if it gets damaged. We just didn't give them a choice. I sold them all off and we put all brand new cars on. So it does matter. And the actual changeover to put new cars on has also been well received by customers.
Hi, I'm Molly from Prohire, and I just want to say a massive thank you to Jason for letting us come visit his site today at TMC. It was really lovely to speak to yourself and Angela, and I really enjoyed my day. If anyone else would like to participate in a case study, I'll leave my details on the screen so you can contact me. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys.